What's up, y'all? This is your boy James. I am here with Jake. I'm sorry, I am here with Schoolboy. Thank you guys for tuning into a special impromptu edition of Transcending the Culture. Schoolboy?
I'm sorry. I didn't even hear you. I'm sorry. Like my internet's messing up right now.
Okay.
Give me a second.
No, it's a,
You didn't have to wait for me. You could have kept talking. Go ahead.
okay. I figured you'd pop right back in. So yeah, so we are here, special impromptu edition
You can
of
say
Transcending.
something.
Huh? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, y'all. I know she's getting that together.
Yeah,
So we are here,
I can
special.
hear you. Keep
Yeah.
going.
So a special impromptu edition of Transcending the Culture. I am James. We got Schoolboy here, and this is a pretty awesome opportunity. Definitely, it kind of came up really quickly, so we didn't really have a whole lot of time to talk about it and really prepare you guys before. But nevertheless, we really wanted to get everybody in here and have this conversation with this artist who has been here within the industry quite some time and has done a lot. So I thought it would be a good opportunity for our audience to really get to know him. I really want you guys to help me to welcome in Christopher Terrell.
Hey, what's up, guys? How
Hey,
y'all doing?
what's going on, man?
Hey, man, trying to get it, man. Appreciate you guys having me, bringing me on.
Listen, man,
Definitely.
it's all good. This internet stuff will kill us.
Yeah. I've been kind of
It
going
all
through a
happens.
little bit today myself. So you
Yeah.
good?
Yeah. Well, it's awesome, man. It's really exciting to welcome you in. A lot of what we do with this platform, we like to be able to introduce our audience to people who are out there, people who are good with what they do, and really push the culture. So,
Right.
again, I thought it would be really good to invite you on. If you want to kind of give a little quick introduction as well, I know I introduced you to everybody, but just let everybody know who you are.
Absolutely. My name is Christopher Terrell. I'm a singer-songwriter, born and bred in Raleigh, North Carolina. Lived in New York for about 15 years doing this music thing. And I moved back to the Carolinas, started raising my kids here. Got a son that's an artist. His name is Chris Fee, who's on the bubble right now as well. A lot of big things in the future, man, for the Terrell clan.
Right, right.
We just praying and trying to stay fast and do what we have to do, man, and do it all genuine. I tell my son and my children, show people who you are, not who you think they want to see, and that's what it's all about for me, man. Just being genuine and just trying to give out some good energy, man. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what a lot of it is about. You definitely have a long-standing history in the business. Kind of dating back to the early '90s, and
Right.
a deal as a duo. With
Right.
um, ultimately becoming solo,
Right.
releasing the first project in 2005. But then also prior to that project, you wrote the song for Anthony Hamilton, "Struggle No More." So kind
Right.
of talk about like that period of writing that and obviously getting that to him, and then also putting out your debut album.
Yeah. It's funny, like you mentioned, I went up to New York in the '90s, man, and wanted to make a name for ourselves, and we ended up doing it pretty quickly. And Puff had offered us a deal. We ended up turning that deal down because we were working with Brian Leach, who was getting us another deal through RCA. Supposed to have been like the secret weapon coming out after SWV. Unfortunately, a lot of things, politically didn't work out like we had planned. Ended up going back to Puff. He put us on with Heavy D, and we just ended up networking. There, everything was a networking game. Just being out there working with different people, man. And back in when Tyler was working on this movie, Daddy's Little Girls, one of the guys that was working for him at the time was a friend of mine who used to be a rapper. I shouldn't say used to be. That's not. He's still a rapper. He still can rhyme. He still does some things now. But now he's like really big in security for all the artists. Him and his man, Big Herb. Big shout out to Big Pooh. He's Tamika Scott from Escape's husband. He actually gave me a call. Him and Herb asked me to join this writing team. And they told me what the movie was about, and I told them I already had a song for that. Once they explained to me what it was all about, which was Struggle No More, and I actually wrote that after my youngest daughter was born. I was talked into moving into my mother-in-law's basement to save up to build a house in New York, right? And I wrote it down there, so it was like some real stuff, I was going through. And anyway, they heard it, they loved it. They went to Atlanta, rest is history, man. It ended up being 2 songs on Tyler Perry's soundtrack, and this soundtrack was full of like big dogs. Whitney Houston was up there, So it was like I was honored, and I had 2 joints. So the original song that I wrote, that Anthony sang, and then Tamika helped do the remix. So she added a little more flavor to it as well, man. And Music Soul Child and Jaheim and Anthony Hamilton killed it. You know what I mean? On the remix, and yeah. So it was a beautiful, beautiful time.
Okay. I mean, like, would you say that that's kind of what led to your, the solo album, or I guess kind of?
Well, I was already working towards that anyway, and everything was kind of going independent. I was leaving New York when all of this was going on, kind of torn on should I stay there or go back to North Carolina. I just thought it would be a better opportunity for my kids, being raised where I was raised from, you know what I mean? Where I could be around my family some, because we had been around, my wife's family. And I just thought it was a good opportunity, man. And but at the same time, it was torn, you know what I mean? Because I had a lot of good stuff. I had a song that was top 10 on Billboard at the time, you know what I'm saying? So it was a time where I was still creating. I still had producers that I was working with, and it was like a collaboration of producers I've been working with over the years, who I did crazy demos with, and they were like, "Yo, just do an album." So that's what I did. I had Shaft Entertainment. Shaft, he's the guy who he discovered Cardi B, KSR. He's over at Ep.8 Records now. So he produced some joints. Coptic, he's worked with a lot of people, Biggie, the whole nine. My band Lavolta Allen, have it produced 2 songs on the album for me. And he actually was featured as well on one of the songs. And a guy named Steve Sola, who's on the Mix King. So he mixes everybody records, but he's this Italian dude, hair all the way down his back, played the guitar. And, he actually did the original song Stronger No More for me. You know what I mean? So if it wasn't for him, I never would have wrote the song. So I wrote it to something that he had produced initially. So yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah. Now your next project after that was like 5 years later, 2010-ish.
Yeah, I did. Because I had moved down south and started going to this church, man. It was really inspirational. And I was working with the praise team over there, and I decided to do a gospel inspirational album. I never really released it fully like most people. I just kind of like put it out there, selling CDs in the street, kind of like old school stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I feel like Reverb Nation too. So I was like,
Reverb Nation, correct? Yeah, I did it on that, but I never really took it as far as I probably should have. And I'm still thinking about re-releasing it. It's like 19, 20 songs on this album that it's got some pretty powerful songs up there. But at that time, it was a lot of things going on, and I just decided to hold back on that for now. But it was a lot of inspiration. I was out. Um, I was dealing with a lot of like demons, you know what I mean? Like because being in R&B and hip hop, what I had been around, I felt like I was around a lot of gospel business people that to me were worse than R&B people or hip hop people. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So it
It,
kind of turned me off. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It kind of turned me off on things. So I was just like, and I know this, you can't, hey, listen, the church is a hospital, right? Everybody got issues.
right, right.
For sure, everybody's sick.
But I
Everybody's
yeah,
sick.
everybody's sick. Right. So I was just like, I was turned off by a few things that I was dealing with, you know what I mean? And so I didn't go gung ho like I could have, or like I started anyway. Got a lot of great feedback, and did quite a few things. Went to Africa, and on missionary trips out there and performed things of that nature. But just I had a good time. The people that I put together on the project, though, they were like family. They still like family. So they're always asking me, can we do some type of reunion?
Right.
And I got some plans down the road. It's just I think God led me to do some other things because I can speak to people through R&B too. So you can speak to people anywhere on any platform. So once I learned all that, I was good with being who I was. If that makes sense.
No, I think it makes perfect sense. Kind of getting to the now, like I know we don't get a whole lot of time with you, but
Yeah.
kind of getting to the now, I know that you have the Geo Soul tape that's out that came out. I was almost 2 years ago, and you
Actually,
have a new
it'll be a year. It'll be a year in November. Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, in November,
In
Thanksgiving.
November. Okay.
Yeah, November it'll be a year, and it's crazy because I was in a car accident, and right before it dropped, so this is kind of why delay on everything. So I end up having to have a lumbar fusion. It's been pretty crazy, but at the same time, it's a great album, and we didn't want it to go to waste because we know it could touch some people. Because I have been dealing with some things over the last few years. Lost one of my best friends, who was murdered. His name is Tyheem Bryant. He produced the film called Equal Standards, with Ice Cube and Tretch and the whole nine. So mentally, I had been going through some things, and because of his loss, and along with these health issues that I was dealing with, I didn't want to put something out there negative because we always hearing this negative stuff because of course I was angry, you hurt, you're going through things, so all you want to do is talk about is some negative stuff, you know what I mean, or some get back or whatever it is that you're dealing with. And my man helped me kind of stay focused on, he said, yo, really concentrate on something that you know about that could actually help. And I know about love. I've been married 20 years, 21, be 21 years this past year, May 21 for us. And so I knew what love was about, right? Because I had to be intentional about that to even make it this far. So I wanted to concentrate on not only, as they say, bringing R&B back, but giving some good R&B, giving some good love music. If you got relationships, letting people know relationships can still work. You know what I mean? No matter who you are, what you got going on, relationships can still work, right?
Yes, they can.
Yeah, you ain't gotta be all out here doing the wildness and out here, because social media, with especially to our people, we have a virus of accepting everything that's out there, right? You know what I'm saying? And thinking what that's real, and it's not always real. So I wanted to portray something that was real to me and something that I know other people would like to see as well. You just don't get the notoriety or the media support behind it, but I know everybody that hears my music, they appreciate it. You know what I mean? Because it's real. It takes you back. It's something that feels good. And the name of my album, like you said, the Geo Soul Tape. The Geo stands for good energy only.
Right.
And that's how I came up with that, because I try to stay away from everything negative, man, because that stuff kills you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and it really does. So that was my concentration. I wanted, uh, people to, I love having a good time, and I think
Right.
most of us do. And so that's what I wanted to give on this: having a good time, loving on on your people, and letting them know love still exists.
Given like the changes in the musical landscape, like
Mhm.
what has kept the creativity there? Like, obviously having been there this time and seeing all the different things that's gone on, what's kept you wanting to do it?
Well, I actually didn't want to. I really I didn't. My man Magic Reed, like I said, he's a big time producer, man. He played 1,000 instruments.
Mhm.
He kept pushing me, and I had been just supporting my son on his journey right now, as he started really getting into this around 2017. And he was like, "Yo, you need to do something. You need to do something." And of course, I love to create, right? But it just wasn't in me until all of these other things happened. And they say things happen for a reason.
Right.
So when it happened, when all these things happened and came to fruition, I knew I had to. Like my boy Tyler, who passed away, he would always tell me, like, "Yo, Terrell, what are you doing?" That's what he would, everybody called me Terrell. He was like, "Terrell, what are you doing? Like, don't let that waste, man." Like, he used to manage me as well. So um, he used to be on my case a lot. Just like, you can't just sit back and let that go. God gave you that, so use it. So I think all of it just came full circle, and it just pushed me back out there, man. So here I am.
Okay. Just to kind of wrap us up, man, because I know we've gone 15 minutes already.
Mhm.
You have the new single, "When I Think of You."
When I think of you,
Uh,
absolutely.
talk a little bit about that, and then an album that may be coming behind it. Or
Yeah. So that was actually the first song. Well, the first song I wrote on the album, my son co-wrote, because again, I really wasn't trying to really do it. And Magic sent me a track and was like, "Yo, listen to this. Start off with this." And I was like, I called my son in the studio. And I was like, "Yeah, listen, you hear anything to this?" And I came back. He had written a hook, recorded the hook, the first verse. I was like, "Oh, okay, right." So, and it was hot, and I was like, "Oh man!" So my wife was like, "Yo, Christopher just did that," and I was like, "Yo, it's hot." So that kind of like set me off when he was like, so it was almost like my son pushed me back out there too. Like, "Yo, Dad, just this is you.
right.
Do it. You showed me how to do it, so do it." So when he did that, I finished the song, wrote the second verse, and wrote the bridge, and added a few vamps and whatnot for the song. It's called "Give Me Real Love." That's the first song on the album, and then the next track was called "When I Think of You," and that just when I wrote that song, it was like, okay, I'm here now. I'm in my element, and it felt really good, and it was about my wife. You know what I'm saying? So I had like, again, I had to channel something I knew about. I knew her. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? It's not about anybody else. I don't give enough about what everybody think no more. You know what I'm saying? How you view me is whatever. You know what I'm saying? So once I channeled all that, took everybody out my blinders, and I could just focus, I was good. So once I did that song, everything else came. And I'm talking about, man, we actually recorded this album in a total of 8 days. Not not back to back, but it was a total of about 8 days in the studio with each other. Which was amazing, because when I first went in there and recorded this song, I didn't know he was timing me. So I went in there, and I think he said I recorded the song in 52 minutes. Which old school, like we don't record like the new school. Like I don't record like, even like my son. They just do things different. They don't stack vocals like we do.
Right.
We just do things much different. I try to tell him to do these things, and he will eventually. But a lot of these new school artists, take shortcuts and do certain things. But I'm on every vocal. I'm not copying and pasting. We getting it in, and that's how I saw, even with, that's how Diddy and all those guys was doing it. You got to make these vocals work. But yeah, that's how I got started. I probably got off track a little bit, but yeah.
So the album, what's kind of like the timeline?
Well, the album is out now.
So this is all still just the Geo Soul?
Yeah, this is the Geo Soul tape. The album is out now. The Geo Soul tape. We're basically just dropping singles. So my second single is out right now, the When I Think of You. Like I said, we delayed so many things, and because of my health issues that I was dealing with. But now that I'm bouncing back, we ready. This one of the main songs that I'm looking forward to doing a video for is called Friday Night What's Up. Everybody love this song, and it's a party song, and yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So I'm trying to make it a Friday night anthem, man. Yeah, we hadn't had one since Just Got Paid. Johnny Kemp. So
that's old school one.
I was gonna say Johnny Kemp. Okay.
Right. So my boy DVS, who works, we grew up together. He works for 97.5 and WBLS. I mean, not WBLS, Foxy 107 here in Raleigh. He was, when he first heard that song, he was like, "Yo, we need that song. We need that song." So he wanted that to be my first single, but I wasn't really well enough to really promote it. Right. So we kind of, Love Flow was my first single, which kind of like just let you know I'm here. And now that I'm active again, When I Think of You, we got the remix out right now. My boy did is sick. The remix is crazy on When I Think of You, and we're gonna be dropping Friday Night What's Up and one of my slow jams for cuffing season. So I'm looking forward to all that. Yeah.
Might to check that out.
Yeah, you got to check it out. We're debating right now between this one song called Noosh, right? And the other one is Last Love. Like Last Love is like a lot of people favorites on the album who actually really like got into it. And it was actually the last song I wrote on the album. I actually wrote it in about 20 minutes. It was kind of crazy, but when I recorded it, I wasn't even going to record the song. I was headed back to North Carolina. He called me like back to the studio. Like, "Yo, I got something else. Please just stop." I was like, "No, Magic, I'm going home." He was like, "It won't take you but a minute." So went to the studio, and we didn't even make it to the studio room. He was in like the little credenza area when you were first walking in the office, and he was just playing the track. He was like, "Yo, what you hear?" And it just boom, just like that. And we recorded it, man. I think I got there at 10:15. I was on the road at 12 o'clock, headed to North Carolina. You know what I mean? So it was one of the, but always give that stuff like that to God, you know what I mean? Because it was just like, it came so fast and natural, like, and our vibe was so good as well. So I always give things, when things like happen like that, that's like a God sent, man. You know what I mean? So I always got to give them props on that.
Okay. I think it's really dope, man. I appreciate the time. I appreciate the conversation. Where can people find you at? Like, obviously online, social media, that sort of thing. Like, where can people look you up and keep up?
Yeah, I'm on social media, all social media at R&B Terrell, RNB Terrell. Or Christopher Terrell. You can just Google that and boom, I'll pop up. That's where you can find me. You can follow me on IG at R&B Terrell, Twitter, Facebook, Christopher Terrell or R&B Terrell, YouTube. Check out my video, please, everybody. YouTube, R&B Terrell. Capital on YouTube is funny though. It's capital R, lowercase n, capital B, capital T-E-R, well, E-E-R-R. I can't even spell my name. Capital R, Terrell is my last name. So it's R&B Terrell on YouTube. So if you just follow me there, check out subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate it. And
we'll definitely put that link in there in the description box. That way you guys can, make sure y'all check out Christopher Terrell's music, and then y'all
Yeah.
can subscribe and like and play it and share it with everybody.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're very
Thank you
All right.
guys
welcome.
for having me. Also,
Again, man, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I
I
know this was really
appreciate you
quick,
guys.
but definitely dope. I appreciate the time and the opportunity.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
Yes,
Thank
sir. Yes,
you.
sir.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you guys for tuning in, everybody. Again, this was just an impromptu episode that we were doing here with Christopher Terrell. Make sure that you guys go and check out his information, RNB Terrell on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, or you can get him by Christopher Terrell. And check it out. And again, we appreciate you guys, taking the time. I know this was definitely kind of out of whack, and we appreciate you guys. Anything you want to say, Schoolboy?
No, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week. Of course, follow us both on social media. Um, and if you didn't catch the live, make sure y'all play it back. Like, comment, subscribe. Typically, we are here every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This Saturday, we will have Michael Bowen on the podcast, and then we will hit all of your hot topics and anything that's trending in the culture.
Yes, 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 yes. All right, y'all have a good night. Thank you again for tuning in with us. We really appreciate you guys.